the thing has been mentioned in journals or magazines in that way that these are completely safe. Homeopathy is completely safe because it's a natural product. So there is no need to consult a doctor. One can take homeopathy medicines for long without consultation. It's completely safe. Homeopathy medicine can be taken with other medicines. So these are the wrong conceptions going on. But it is not true. In that way it can't work. So this is the thing that we need to tell our students first. Now pharmacovigilance, what is the zone of pharmacovigilance? Initially, we all know, if we look the timeline, we have to discuss through the timeline how it happened. So first in 1848, one kid, a girl, some Green was her title, she had a nail infection, and in those days anesthesia was not so improved, so that nail infection was not, but the anesthetics which were used for operation, panel was showing the crash, that unfortunate event, whatever it happened. Right now everybody is forgotten about that. So in that way, miscarriages, abortion, almost 3,000 kids really focused on modern medicine. In 2004 in India, the pharmacovigilance, National Pharmacovigilance Program started. It was focused on their modern medicine. In 2004, all the other systems which are recognized in India, they came into the zone of pharmacovigilance. So from 2004, Ayurveda, Unani, Homeopathy, they are into the zone of pharmacovigilance. The name changed in 2009 or 10. It became Pharmacovigilance Program of India. Doesn't matter. National Pharmacovigilance Program or PPI, the work is same. The interesting thing is from 2017, it has been structured in a much better way, and a central sector scheme for pharmacovigilance program under Ministry of Ayush is going on. So that is currently the picture. And not only modern medicine, homeopathy medicine, Ayush medicines, traditional medicine, medical devices, biological products, blood, all herbal medicines, all are coming under the scanner of pharmacovigilance. Now there is one thing, ADR. ADR has to be mentioned. This one is also to be mentioned. Dr. McBride, the thalidomide disaster, Dr. McBride and Dr. Lenz, they were the first who had suspected, and based on the analysis, they had informed, they had published one article in Lancet journal. So these are the areas when pharmacovigilance is being taught to the students. These are the important areas which has to be jotted down, and that in that way we need to tell the thing. Next comes the ADR. The chief focus of pharmacovigilance is ADR. Now homeopathy comes under pharmacovigilance. Will homeopathy medicine cause ADR? That is the biggest question. So my point is, these 5 R's are very important. If the right patient is given the right medicine with the right vehicle, along with the right diet, in right dose, there are no chances of ADR. In how there is a scanner, they will look into whether homeopathy is creating ADR, whether the 1HPT. Okay, I will tell the name. Who was the main author? Okay. So the thing is, the findings was that when homeopathy medicine in single dose, in minimum dose, in as a single medicine, following monopharmacy is applied to the patients, there were no instances of ADR. That was their finding in a systematic review. And later on, they mentioned the same conclusion cannot be drawn when combination medicines or mixture homeopathy medicines are being given. So this is the strongest point to tell that homeopathy medicine, when they are given following 5 R's, there are no chances of ADR, and let them scan, let the pharmacovigilance department scan, they will not find anything. So homeopathy medicines are really safe. But when those people thinking of the myth of homeopathy without discussion, without consultation, in any dose for long period it can be taken, it can result in ADR. It can either cause medicinal aggravation or disease aggravation. Homeopathy aggravation is good, it has a good prognosis. So in that way we have to correlate with the philosophy. So homeopathic aggravation is good, no problem. That means the doctor has given homeopathy medicine following 5 R. Slight intensification of symptoms has been there, but that is good. Disease aggravation is occurring when the right medicine has not been given, or in the right potencies have not been given. So disease is progressing from stage 1 to stage 2. So it needs antidote. And there can be medicinal aggravation. I said it's a myth. Some people without consultation take homeopathic medicine in large doses for a long period, that will cause disease aggravation. That will cause medicinal aggravation. Sorry, that will cause medicinal aggravation. It will basically proving of the drug will start taking place in the body. So it requires antidoting. That is why Dr. Hahnemann in the footnote of 249 he said, the careful conscientious doctor will never require an antidote. So everything is mentioned over there. Pharmacovigilance is basically a word which consists of two different languages. One is Latin, one is Greek. So pharmakon means something, vigilare means something. Pharmacovigilance concept is there in all ancient medical literatures. It is there, but we will not find the word pharmacovigilance because it has a Greek origin. If we look into Ayurvedic literature, something like pharmacovigilance is mentioned there in Sanskrit. If we go through Chinese medical literature, the thing is mentioned in Chinese. If we go through old literatures in their respective languages, it has been written. The main focus on pharmacovigilance is patient safety, drug safety, reducing the risk and increasing the benefits. All this is there in the pharmacovigilance books, in medical texts. Because all doctors of earlier times, Galen, Hippocrates, Pliny, even Sina, basically in earlier times, they used to test drugs. Before Hahnemann also, there were many people who had tested drugs. Shen Nung had tested drugs, Albrecht von Heller had tested drugs. Before that, how it used to happen? The soft targets were the prisoners. So earlier it was monarchs. The king used to rule, then they used to capture land, they used to bring the prisoners of wars. So these prisoners of wars were soft targets. The doctors, they used to test the drugs. They used to bring all those prisoners on a platform and various medicinal substances were given to them. And it was noted after 10 minutes what kind of change is taking place. After 30 minutes what kind of change is taking place. I had seen one article of Dr. Rajat Chattopadhyay of Calcutta. In his article it was mentioned there was even a doctor who was a poet, and in prose he had mentioned that after taking this certain changes will take place, and after 6 hours the patient died. So taking note of all those informations, they used that knowledge to bring about the best cure for the people. So that was something which was followed in ancient system. So drug testing was a part of that. In that way it has been done. So while discussing on pharmacovigilance, we can cover these areas to make our class interesting. But the last point is, in homeopathy, when we are following 5R, basically ADR can't happen unless the doctor commits mistake in dose, in medicine, in potency, or if the patient has the habit of self-medication, that can result in ADR. So we need awareness program, sensitization program. All the stakeholders, manufacturers, doctors, student, pharmacists, nurse, pharmacists, lab technicians, everyone has to be sensitized along with the patients. Okay, this is what I have mentioned, the patent and combinations, those basically those preparations, they can cause ADR. Now we have to inspire our young minds on real homeopathy. We have to tell them from the beginning. That is why you will find that after pharmacovigilance and ADR, there is a certain small section which covers the patent, combination and homeopathic preparations which are going on in homeopathy. We need to tell them what is real homeopathy. I remember long back there was a football match with India and a neighboring country. India won by 2-1 goals. So after that, Indian management, they went up to the coach of the they talked with the management of the other foreign team, and they asked, why don't you take Indian coaches? Why are you using coaches of your country? So they said, sir, India has won today. You have won today, but your game was not good. This is not good football. By luck you won. If we want to learn real football, why should I hire Indian coaches? We will hire coaches from Brazil. So my point is, if somebody wants to learn homeopathy, he has to learn what is real homeopathy, what Dr. Hahnemann had mentioned. This combination homeopathy, these are not actual homeopathy. With patent medicine, these are not actual homeopathy. What Dr. Hahnemann has mentioned in homeopathic literature, organ and other main books, that homeopathy should be taught to our students right from the first year. Otherwise, after passing out, I find already in medicine shop there are so many patent and combinations of wonderful colors and presentations. They get attracted to that, with forgetting real homeopathy they are using tonics and patents and all this. So it has to be mentioned in the first year. Next, this job opportunities in homeopathic pharmacy, that should be mentioned. This is something very much concerned with homeopathic pharmacy. Those who are doing MD in homeopathic pharmacy, they have a certain job. They can be teachers in homeopathic pharmacy department, they can be homeopathic medical officers, they can be research fellows, and there is one more job, they can be a pharmacovigilance officer. Why? The organization setup, you know, All India Institute of Ayurveda, that is the main headquarters. Under that we have the intermediary pharmacovigilance coordination centers in India, that is in NIH. Under that right now we have 16 peripheral centers, but that number will increase to 100. So that means increased job opportunities for PG for homeopathic pharmacy students. Those who are doing PG, they will get a preference in that job. Pharmacovigilance officer and program officer, this kind of jobs are there. So we need to inspire our students in that way. So if you go through this, you can get that. Now this is something new. Pharmacovigilance is one of the important parameters of QCI right now. 2 years back we had assessment programs. In assessment we had some 11 parameters, and in one parameter there is something on pharmacovigilance. It mentions that in every college there should be a pharmacovigilance committee. How should be the setup, that is also mentioned about a committee, and that committee should organize meetings or sensitization programs. Based on that there is a score, and finally they should publish their findings. It doesn't mean that you have to do that ADR was found like that. If after you study you find there is no case of ADR because you had followed that 5R, you have to mention that proper homeopathic treatment didn't result in any ADR, and that has to be published. Based on that there are scores. In assessment program you will get the score, the college will get the score. So in that way pharmacovigilance is very important. We need to tell, we can have this kind of programs in our college. The pharmacy department has to take the responsibility. Okay, in semester 2 we have schedule 1. Okay, this is something which should not be for the UG students, but in very short we can tell the thing. Schedule M we should mention, that is only on pharmaceutical products. M1 is focused on homeopathy, M2 is for cosmetics, and M3 is for medical devices. And it has certain sections. These are the different 10 sections. But this is for PG actually, for PG. But in a smaller way, in an easier way, for the UG students, for the first year UG students, you should mention these points which I am going to show you in the next slide. These are the contents, the plant and equipments, what should be the requirement, the quality control division, how should it be set up, how raw materials should be handled, packing, labeling, operating procedures, record and register expiry date. These are the different sections which are part of that, you all know. Now these are the points that we need to tell our students, which will make our class very interesting, because it's a vast topic. It takes a lot of pages, but these important informations are over there. Like first, entry of, we know there should not be entry of insect like that, but it is clearly mentioned about rodents, lizards, birds and insects entry should be restricted. This point should be mentioned to our students. For percolator, macerator and all storage vessel, we know stainless steel kind of equipments are taken, but it should be of grade 304. This is one important thing that should be mentioned. For eye drops, epoxy coated closures are recommended in schedule M1. Next, we know that when drug substances are collected, if they have to be exported, they should be dried and sent in bundles. If they are not to be exported, if they have to be used, there is a certain time. But for Agaricaceae family, the time is only 7 days. Otherwise, they will decompose. For drugs which are from Agaricaceae family, after collection, within 7 days, you have to start the process of preparation of drugs. To export homeopathy medicines in Europe and in American countries, one should comply the CGMP certificate and US FDA along with ICH. ICH will be in block letters. It's a letter typing error that has been committed by me. So these guidelines are to be followed if our homeopathy medicine standard had to be enhanced to sell that in the foreign market in Europe and America. To export in developing nations, the standard must comply to World Health Organization GMP guidelines. These are there. So I think while talking on this subject, this is very vast. As I said, this is for PG students. But as it is in UG, we need to discuss this, and these are the important points from that section which we can discuss with our students. Moving on to the next slide, a very controversial topic, posology. There is already lots of confusion, disagreement among the doctors. Various stalwarts have given opposing directions to use. Various kind of potencies are there. Dr. Hahnemann himself says about the experiment. Doctor should continue experiment, observation, research in order to get an idea for a certain section wherever he is practicing. What kind of treatment, what kind of dose should he follow? By experience we will learn. Now, this is very interesting views. Whether we should go for high potency or low potency or moderate potency, we know there was a group of doctors who preferred low potencies. There was a section who preferred high potencies. Dr. Hahnemann himself preferred low potencies. He said to limit it up to 30. But we find other disciples of Dr. Hahnemann, they had gone much further. Dr. Hahnemann advised to limit it within 30, but they had gone much further. Now, what about this 3, 6, 9, 12 low potencies, and what about this 201 M? There is one interesting outcome, what I found. The Christian sect, they have two different opinions. Like one is the Protestants and the other is the Orthodox people. And they oppose in ideas. It has been seen that the Orthodox, they used to believe that God is in everywhere in our surrounding. God is present everywhere in our surrounding. So no need to dynamize our medicine, no need to potentize our medicine. The crude forms or the low potencies, the Orthodox is to believe that they will work. And those who opposed the Orthodox Church, the Protestants, they used to believe the high potencies are required for treatment. So in that way, there were two churches. Those who were followers of Orthodox Church, they followed one thing, they followed low potencies, and the Protestants, they followed the high potencies. Now you think of the stalwarts. Dr. Kent, he was follower of Swedenborgian Church. Those names, what you get, Dr. Korsakov, you find like 2,000, 2,500, 5,000, 8,000, 10,000. So most of the stalwarts who followed the high potencies, they were a Protestant group. And those who preferred low potencies, they were the Orthodox Christians. There is nothing fight in them in there. I'm just mentioning the thing. This is how we can divide the thing. In that way it went. But my practical observation is all potencies are effective. I will show you with examples. What we know, Dr. Kent had mentioned the law of octave, like 30, 200, 1M, 10M will work. Dr. Kent, even in his writings, he had said, I have gone through those lectures where he said how he came to this decision that after 30 one should give 200. Dr. Kent said after 30 I gave 31, 32, 40, 50, 60 potencies, it didn't work. After 200 I gave 300, 400, 500, it didn't work. Till I gave 1000. Or after 1M I gave 2000, 3000, it didn't work well. So finally when I gave 10M, it worked. So based on that, Dr. Kent said, these are the potencies, 30, 200, 1M, 10M, MM, in that way you should do. But I am telling you, there are potencies like 7CH right now. If there is a particular manufacturing house, Nelson Manufacturing House in New Delhi, they prepare 7CH potencies. Following some directions of some stalwart, they prepare 7 potency of all drugs. Then there is potency 500C. In Calcutta, Hapco Laboratories, they prepare tuberculinum 500, metroidinum 500. But 500 is not available by other stores, other medical stores, they don't prepare. Next, coming on to 31 and 32, it has very important, interesting information I would like to share. You know of nosodes, N4 category, which were prepared from clinical materials. It is no more possible to prepare those drugs. N4 is no more possible because it is not possible to get fresh discharges. It is not possible to get those discharges anymore because when a patient will become ill, he will interfere with either modern medicine drugs or with homeopathic drugs. So those discharges are no more pure. It happened 150 years back. Somebody suffered from some sexual disease or some disease and they didn't get any treatment and the disease progressed and the doctors, homeopathic doctors, they collected the discharges. With those, they had prepared N4 category medicines. Now what happened over here, the HAPCO, the manufacturing house, they imported those starting materials from European countries. With that, they had basically potentized and made those medicines. Just remember, Dr. Kopikar's calculation, 197 on 100 ml can make 1 lakh liters up to 100. So in that way it was going. But what will happen when 200 potency is exhausted? What will happen when 30 is getting exhausted? You can't make any more. So HAPCO is doing a trick. HAPCO, they have, in order to preserve the drug, right now they have stopped selling 30 potency. Because if they make 30 from 29 and they sell in the market, 29 is almost exhausted. So from 29 they have right now prepared 30 and they are selling 31 in the market, 32 in the market. I just saw in the shop, varicella 32 is available. One more thing they have done, they are preserving 200 for the sake of homeopathy, because the fresh discharges, if they sell, it will get lost forever because it is still there. As I said, with oscillococcinum, just one discharge, in that way you can move forward. So they are preparing 201C, 202C of nosodes, medorinum, tuberculinum, these are available, syphilinum are available with HAPCO, because HAPCO is an honest manufacturer. Dishonest manufacturers, they will tell it is there, you never know what substance they are using. But honest manufacturers, they are admitting that it's almost exhausted. So that is why I am selling 201 and 202 to preserve 200 for the homeopathic fraternity. So this is the process that they have adopted. Next one interesting information I am going to share with you. In Australia, there is no manufacturing house. They basically import medicines from India. What they do, they collect 30 potency, 200 potency from here, and they convert 30 to 31, 200 to 201. And in the name of 30 and 200, those medicines are sold in Australia. It is wrong. When you are selling 201, you should say this is 201. But they change the label. So my point is, all potencies are effective. All potencies. My teacher used to say that right now there is no device to find out which potency will create a stronger, similar artificial disease in you. That is my motto. You are suffering from, a patient is suffering from a disease, but your medicine should be able to create a similar, stronger disease. So if 35 potency can do that, no need of giving 200. All potencies are in dynamic form, they will work. Dr. Kent had said something different. He said as per they work properly now with the wavelength of a body like that. There is some different explanation. But what I believe, all potencies are basically effective. They will work. Posology in sports medicine. This is in sports medicine. In injuries related to sports medicine, Dr. Pierre Smith has said that the same medicine in 3 different potencies at an interval of 20 minutes can be given. This is mentioned in Dr. Luc Descaper's Hahnemann Revisited. There is a book, Hahnemann Revisited by Dr. Luc Descaper. Over there, this is mentioned that in sports injuries, you can give 30, 200 and 1M at an interval of 20 minutes. So through this, we can teach about sports medicine, the scope of homeopathy in sports medicine. Along with that, we are showing the application. I just mentioned in any topic, there will be history, background, facts, informations, practical utility and administration. All should be there in our lecture. It's not that we have to forget the facts. Earlier it was only fact and information. We have to combine the both. In that way, we have to make our classes interesting. Okay, this is about relation with Materia Medica. We all know the construction of Materia Medica. This chapter is still there in H. Okay, in theme H it is there. But unfortunately, no question comes from H. We know, as per the blueprint, it is A, B, C, D, F for LAQs, and for SAQ it is A, B, P, C, C, D, E, G. So no question from H, but it should be changed. I have also mailed NCH. You all people, doctors, faculty members, you can also mail over there, because why we should left out H? H is also important. Over there we have questions like the relation with anatomy, physiology and Materia Medica. So if the students know that there no question will come from H, they will not give importance to H, but all these are important. So under H, when it is about the relation of homeopathic pharmacy with Materia Medica, the construction of Materia Medica depends on proving. One is standard proving, as per what is mentioned by Dr. Hahnemann, from 105 to 145. This is one way. But by that, in reality, later I came to know, initially I thought by drug proving on human beings of both sexes in different ages, different constitutions, we have got all symptoms. but that is not the only way of getting symptoms. Clinical observation, accidental probing, toxicological findings, history of findings, postmortem findings, animal probing, all have contributed in creating all the symptomatology of a drug. So there are wonderful examples of that. I would like to share. Maybe you also know many examples. So one is this animal probing. Already Dr. Hanneman said that when you are going to treat all the human beings, so no need to probe it on animals, because animal can't communicate with us. Animals don't give subjective symptom like that. In that way it is mentioned. But based on the findings on animal probing, there are homeopathic drugs. Okay, in foreign what happened? It happened that the cows were taking corns and the corns had some fungus, and the cows were pregnant. After taking those corns, those cows aborted. This happened in secale cornutum. We now have habitual abortion. So that finding, that knowledge has been used, and clinically it has been seen when a lady is suffering from habitual abortion, secale cornutum findings which were based on animals, that knowledge has been utilized and it has created a havoc. Those ladies who were basically suffering from habitual abortion, that problem has been cured. So it has been verified. After being verified, though that thing which came out from animal probing, that also becomes a part of our Mathematics. Animal probing also took place in India. You know of Dr. Sharad Chandra Ghosh. Dr. Sharad Chandra Ghosh is known as the father of human drug probing program. In long back, Dr. Sharad Chandra Ghosh, once how he got inspired to homeopathy. It's a very interesting story. Dr. Sharad Chandra Ghosh, he was a student. At the time, his brother-in-law was suffering too much from blood vomiting and blood diarrhea like that. So all the doctors of that period, they came to treat his brother-in-law, and everyone failed. And you might have heard the name of Dr. Mahendralal Sarkar. He was a very renowned doctor in Calcutta, and initially he was an allopathic doctor. Later he converted to homeopathy. Dr. Mahendralal Sarkar was called upon. He tried to treat, but even his treatment failed. Now you see, even Dr. Mahendralal Sarkar couldn't treat. Then a sage came, a sadhu came. The sadhu mentioned that simply you give Acalypha indica, the leaf of Ficus religiosa, you collect the juice of Ficus religiosa and feed your patient. He will get right. So this people ka patta, that leaf juice was collected and given to his brother-in-law, and this bleeding stopped. His brother-in-law got well. So this event marked Sharad Chandra Ghosh's attention. He decided that whenever I grow up, I have to think why it had cured. Later on, when he became a homeopathic doctor, Dr. Sharad Chandra Ghosh prepared mother tinctures from Ficus religiosa, and that was the instance of drug probing which was carried out by him. He himself had consumed 40 drops of Ficus religiosa. He gave his wife 20 drops, and a pet dog, once again animal probing, the pet dog, that was also given 40 drops of Ficus religiosa. And Sharad Chandra Ghosh, doctor, he just observed that his blood urine Ficus religiosa has hemorrhagic properties, anti-hemorrhagic properties. Why? Why it had cured his brother-in-law? That Hahnemann's law has been proved once again. Because it can produce similar symptoms. It produced similar symptoms. It produced blood vomiting, blood in his expectoration, blood in his urine and stool. That is why it had anti-hemorrhagic properties. That is why it cured. So these are wonderful examples. Animal probing conducted in India. So in that way, I think we need to design. Many of you doctors, you also have a wonderful collection of examples. In that way, we can make our class interesting. So after conium maculatum, in that way, to make a patient ill with having ascending paralysis. But that knowledge, that information, what we found from history of poisoning, tells us that conium can be a very good drug for ascending type of paralysis if all the symptoms match. This is what Dr. Samir Bhattacharjee he had mentioned. So in that way, we can discuss about the relation of homeopathic pharmacy and Mathematics. For every part, there are wonderful piece of information. Last one is postmortem findings. We have studied of arsenic, we know what is there in Allen's keynote of plumber metallicum. There is a mention of blue line in the gum. That will never produce, is never possible to produce in a human being if we follow drug proving ethically. Ethical things are very strong right now. So it will not appear. But it appeared in those people who died. In post-mortem finding it was seen accidentally, who had consumed lead in their food without knowing for long duration. But that is important finding. Now in natural disease conditions, if we see the presence of blue demarcation in the gums, then we can think, it's not that we have to give plumbum. We can think of plumbum as one of the important medicine in such cases if rest all symptoms match. This is about relation with physiology. We know the sarcodes are prepared from healthy glands and their discharges. So over here we can correlate homeopathic pharmacy with physiology. These are not disease tissues, these are all healthy things, but still they are capable of creating changes. As medicine, they can work. The application of arsenic in sports medicine. This I have already mentioned, but let me give you some sources. First, it was in Dr. Clark's Matre Medica, it is mentioned. Then you know who introduced homeopathy in India? Dr. John Martin Honigberger. He came to Lahore. In his book, 35 Years in the East, in that book he mentions that he met two kind of patients in Lahore. He met two people who deliberately, intentionally consumed poison, snake venom, in order to live. I don't know what was the reason. So they took consumed poison intentionally in order to live. And he met few people in Ghazni while moving to Afghanistan who took arsenic in small amount. One of my colleagues had what mentioned in one literature it is given that the sages who live in Himalaya, they consume very little amount of arsenic which keeps them alive and they stay well even in these cold climatic conditions where food is very deficient. Everywhere there is snow in this cold climate. By consumption of little amount of arsenic, they keep well themselves. What is the reason? Later the same thing is mentioned in Clark's Matre Medica. He says that the horses were earlier fed with little amount of arsenic. The horses of race course were given little amount of arsenic in order to build their muscles. They can be strong runners. The porters in South America and Peru, they used to consume little amount of arsenic. So that knowledge has been utilized in homeopathy as a routine prescription. Arsenic in 6 potency is now a wonderful drug for volleyball, basketball players, sprinters and boxers. After that military doctor I mentioned in the earlier slide, he had introduced this arsenic 6 to boxers. Later on the Basketball Federation of India, they adopted this technique for their basketball players. And a national team of 1982 that participated in New Delhi Asian Games, they had taken arsenic. So plenty of informations are there. Jahir Khan was very injured. So in one test in Calcutta, he was kept out of the team. He took homeopathy medicines. Those homeopathy medicines were not consumed. Those homeopathy medicines were external applications. And BCCI, they basically brought out a notice that Jahir Khan seems to be more, has more belief in homeopathic system of medicine than allopathy medicine. This was a press release which was made by BCCI. It is possible in external application when the disease is not in dynamic form, we can apply homeopathy medicine externally. So Jahir Khan had taken that homeopathy medicine as an external applications. Next comes drug proving, very interesting chapter. Very interesting. I just mentioned about the ancient drug testing episodes. Already I have gone through those things. Still there are more informations. Pre-Hahnemannian drug testing, it has been covered. We know Hahnemannian proving. Drug proving in India through Dr. Sharat Chandra Ghosh, I have already mentioned the thing. There were, apart from Dr. Sharat Chandra Ghosh, there were many more doctors. Dr. Sharat Chandra Ghosh in his book, Drugs of Hindustani writes that at the time when he started his experiments, all the Indian doctors, they threw water in his plan. Nobody supported him. It was only Leopold Salzer and Dr. Clark who had supported his protocol, his projects. And later all these findings with Indian herbs were published in Clark's Matre Medica. Few more doctors like Dr. P.P. Biswas, Dr. K.K. Bhattacharya were there. There was one doctor in Rawalpindi, Dr. Govindram Sharma. He had done experiments with one drug like Ginkgo biloba, Gymnasta sylvestra. He had done that for that. And in drug proving, there is this current CCRH protocol, which is not completely following Hahnemannian thing. Over there, 3 different potencies are given. 3 different potencies at a certain interval. It is given. So we need to cover these things. Now coming to non-lecture. Okay, we were having the lecture things. Now coming to non-lecture part. Okay, this one I need to discuss on the thing. What I have seen in homeopathy colleges, whatever seminars are taken, they are similar to the topics of a book. Like I have seen a seminar on solid vehicles. I think it has less importance because already in a class it is being discussed. Or there are like similar in other subjects also, organon, mathematica, pharmacy, whatever be the subject. The topics are similar to the things which are already learned. So I think seminar requires much more insight. The student should do much more homework. He should study more because in this type of seminar like solid vehicles, liquid vehicles, drug preparation in old method, it is everything is only in their textbook. From there they are copying and they are making PowerPoint slides and they are presenting. In that way I think it will not do improvement. Rather it should be like indigenous medicinal plants of Northeast India or herbs of South India or drug proving programs of North India or drug proving experiments done in Maharashtra. In that way he can find, he can search more to find. If he doesn't find, it's okay. But if he finds, that will also be an interesting finding. Isn't it? That will be an interesting finding. So this is the topic that I think I have seen. In my college also they are doing like this, vehicles of homeopathy, source of drugs, drug preparation in homeopathy. It needs to be little more changed. Assignment should be little innovative. One madam had informed me, she is giving this assignment to her students that they have to bring paper cuttings of misleading advertisements that are found in newspapers. So it's very nice. Misleading advertisement, objectionable advertisement. That means they are finding, they are looking somewhere and they are bringing and making a project. They are pasting the thing. In that way they are submitting their assignments. Next I suggest one is collection of medicine box of unhomeopathic preparations. In that way they will see the label and they will find how funny it is. It is not following homeopathy. Collection of less frequently used medicines. If they see less frequently used potencies, like if they find this 7 potency, 31 potency, 201 potency, that will be something to learn, that this kind of potencies do exist. 500 potency, that will be something interesting for them. Collection of medicinal vials of manufacturers of various countries. If it is collected from Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, these countries, they have manufacturing house, Germany, United States, UK, New Zealand, so they can see the label. The label will be little different from how it is labeled in India. There are different regulations. So that will be something where they can learn something. Then this one is collection of stamps on medicinal plants related to homeopathy. This can be also assigned to them. Or stamps on homeopathy. There are stamps on homeopathy. The first stamp was published, printed by the Postal Department in 1978 after a conference was held. And worldwide the first stamp was published, not by the German, not by the British. It was printed by the Postal Department of Brazil. Okay, so Linacinio Cardosa is a doctor, a famous doctor, and his picture was portrayed in the stamp. That was the first instance where a homeopathic related stamp was published. It was printed by the Brazilian Postal Department. And in India, the first one it was printed in 1978 after a national level, international level conference. So many more stamps are into the surface. The students can go on collecting those pictures, and in that way they can make a project. Collection of stamps on medical science, yes, from Greek medicine, Arabian medicine, or Chinese medicine. If you find there are stamps, students can work on it, and in that way they can get the name of the stalwarts related to ancient system, or the different medicinal things, substances which are used by different medical systems. Next, coming to journal and records, our main motto was to decrease the pressure. Already the students are under lots of stress, but this has increased. There are currently around 6 things they have to keep record, but marks is very less. Only 10 marks is allotted. So my point is they should give more focus on theory and viva and practical, and less focus on this. Anyhow, they should prepare this exercise books. They should not basically kill the time of theory hours of learning in that way just for only 10 marks. Honestly, they should do, but it should be done with as much less time. Some other non-lecture activities that can be followed, like homeopathy pharmacy quiz. I conduct this homeopathy pharmacy quiz I'm conducting for the last 10 years. At the end of the session, just before the university exams, when all chapters are covered, at the time I do this. This can be done. Debate, critical discussion, group discussion, and this is one I have started. Madam was asking what new I am doing. This is something new I am doing. Extempore speech on homeopathic topics, where everyone has to come on the platform, and in 1 minute after opening the paper, whatever topic is finds, in 1 minute you have to discuss whatever you know about that, whatever you know. So that helps in developing the students' confidence before the oral exams. Debate, this kind of topics can be taken, like new method of drug preparation should be adopted only. Now one group will be in favor, the other group will be against. But to mention these things, to express these things, lots of study has to be done. Next comes Hahnemannian way of drug proving is superior than modern day HPT protocols. By logic you have to tell. In debate anything can be discussed. High potencies can only bring about cure. The other team which will be in against, they will demonstrate how low potencies has cured the thing. So basically nobody is completely wrong. They are all correct, all are correct, but this kind of discussion will open up new areas which will be helpful for all, and everyone will get enriched. These are critical discussions. Low potency, high potency, very much controversial topic. Centesimal and 50 millisimal scale. Hahnemann way of protocols of drug proving and modern way. Old method and new method of drug preparation. So in that way, critical discussions, these are the topics. You can add new areas on the chapters. I have given just 3-4 examples on this. We can have group discussion on cinchona plantation in Asia. For that they have to study. I'm just sharing the thing. Very interesting information. Next comes adulteration of drug substance with cheap alternatives. Very interesting thing. If we go into it, we'll find wonderful information over there. The limitation of existing standardization techniques. Miyawaki cultivation in PCIMH. The role of seed banks. So in that way what will happen? Just a discussion on standardization. Today we are having a seminar on standardization. Instead of that, if we can have limitation of existing standard techniques, if we can have the role of seed banks, in that way everyone will get enriched. Coming on to this like cinchona plantation. So how it happened? Cinchona, before it got established as a malaria drug, as an anti-malarial drug, it was used as a substitute for other medicinal drug. In standardization, we know the standardization is very important. Long back, I had once attended one ROTP, which was delivered by Dr. Mahendra Singh. This is very important, I'm telling you, related to standardization and all that. So Dr. Mahendra Singh, he mentioned that the drug industry is not doing the right thing. It's a practice, common practice, not only in homeopathy, but in herbal medicine, in alternative medicine, everywhere. The cheap alternatives, that means the plants or plant parts, which look very similar to the original medicinal plant, they are basically mixed. So adulteration happens. We knew that a proper drug substance, we know in our book it is written, drug substance should be collected from reliable source, reliable drug suppliers. But there is no guarantee that drug suppliers are supplying the same thing. I'm just giving examples. Paper nigrum. Instead of paper nigrum, carica papaya seeds are mixed. We know there are two varieties of arnica. One is European variety, one is American variety. Dr. Hahnemann says not to substitute. The exact plant, the exact species should be collected in the exact season. Three very important points. But the practice is to mix up American variety of false arnica with the real arnica. Same for Euphrasia, same for passiflora. And now let's move to this what I mentioned, Nux vomica. We know Nux vomica, that is poison nut for homeopathy that we use. Then there is one more, Strychnus Nux vomica potatorum, a drug is there. It has medicinal properties. It also has medicinal properties. Strychnus potatorum. Its seeds are also very similar to Nux vomica seeds. Strychnus potatorum is used in Ayurveda, but it is not a drug of homeopathy. So the practice was to mix up this potatorum seeds with actual Nux vomica seeds. So the medicine, it contains some bit of actual poison nut seeds and some bit of Nux vomica blanda, that means potatorum seeds. That will not give the real medicine. So ADR can also occur from there. So it will come under pharmacovigilance. So all are related. In that way, I think we should present our lectures in our class. And now coming to the main important things, that's where it started, cinchona. So cinchona, we know what is the common name cinchona, Peruvian bark. There is one more medicinal plant named Peruvian balsam. Peruvian balsam. It is Myroxylon peruphyllum. So when cinchona was not established as an anti-malarial drug, just because cinchona barks were very similar to Myroxylon periphyllum, so it was the habit of the drug suppliers to mix cinchona bark along with Myroxylon bark and export. Later, when cinchona got established, at that time the price of 1 kg cinchona became equivalent to 1 kg of gold. When it was established that cinchona is a wonderful drug, because the colonial rulers, the Spanish people in South America, the British in Asia, the Germans in Africa, they were ruling different countries, and these countries were very much infected by malaria. So for the soldiers, they required quinine. For the soldiers, they required cinchona bark. So it was exported legally, it was smuggled illegally. In that way, cinchona seeds, cinchona plantation took place in Africa, in some countries, and in Asia. At that time, cinchona came over to Europe and India. In Europe, the variety of cinchona which was planted is Cinchona calisaya. Cinchona calisaya. It is not Cinchona officinalis, what we find in our homeopathy pharmacopoeia of India. I am telling you, very interesting bit. So that is why I said that this kind of topics can be kept in group discussion for the students. They will find it. That just as I have found, they will also find if they search. Okay, we teachers will guide them for about the source book. I will tell the source books. So Cinchona calisaya, basically Cinchona has 23 different species right now. Cinchona calisaya was planted in Europe. That means Dr. Hahnemann had put Cinchona calisaya. That is in Europe. Okay. Cinchona calisaya came from Venezuela. There are 4 countries in South America, not only Peru. Peru, Ecuador, Bolivia and Venezuela. In these 4 countries, cinchona plants, cinchona trees are abundant. Okay. The British brought Cinchona sakki rubra and planted in South India. So in Nilgiri Hills, Uttarakhand, it is Cinchona sakki rubra variety. South Indian manufacturers, they are using Cinchona sakki rubra. Cinchona calisaya was planted in Darjeeling, Bangpoo. That is Cinchona calisaya. So all these manufacturers of North India and Bengal, they are using that Cinchona calisaya. And there is one more variety, Cinchona legeriana. It was smuggled by one Charles Ledger. That kind of variety is found in Java Islands of Indonesia. And it is found that Cinchona legeriana contains more amount of alkaloids. Right now, Cinchona has no role as an antimalarial drug because better alternatives are there in the market. But Cinchona has role in homeopathy. Cinchona is still used in homeopathy. It has, because it is not a specific medicine only for malaria. We can use it in many cases where symptoms match. So Cinchona legeriana of Java can be collected and proved as a new drug. Cinchona calisaya, now it is named as Cinchona sakki rubra of South India, prepared by South Indian companies, are sold as Cinchona officinalis because in pharmacopoeia it is said Cinchona officinalis. but is it actually synchronous circuit route? There will be a difference. So my PG students and other students might be they are also carrying out studies on taking the plantation, taking the bark of Darjeeling variety and taking the bark of South Indian variety, and they are comparing. Trees will get naturalized in new soil, in new climatic conditions. So whatever the change they are finding out. So moving on to the next slide. Before that, this is Miyawaki cultivation. This is being followed in Pharmacopoeia Commission for Indian Medicine and Homeopathy. That kind of cultivation, along with that polyhouse facility, along with that greenhouse facility, they have this Miyawaki type of cultivation, where in a very short span, in 1 square meters, they plant 3 to 5 plants, and it's a kind of urban forestation. Just because there are so many plants in a small place, it increases the fertility of soil, and the leaves that fall, it creates a humus layer over there. It increases the biodiversity. Akira Miyawaki of Japan had introduced this kind of thing. So I think if we discuss not only just there is a seed bank in CME, there is Miyawaki cultivation that they are following, let's go into deep, or we can give them as a project. In that way we can do. Seed bank is also very interesting. We know earlier during the great floods, Noah came with his ark and he preserved all the species. Okay. So this time also they are the thing. We have many medicinal plants which are on the verge of extinction. So those seeds are collected and they are kept in minus 40 degrees Celsius in low humid conditions. Even if that plant finally gets extinct, it will be possible once more to grow that plant from the seed and create a medicinal plant once again. Okay, these are some topics like I do in my class, 2-minute speech. So whoever is shy, he has also to come over here, and I tell whatever you know, you tell, but you have to stay on the platform for 2 minutes. Easy topics, all are like short note kind of topics, short question kind of topics. These all come as 5-number marks questions. Straight potency, GMP, French homeopathy, pharmacopoeia, glass mortar pestle, pharmacopoeia. We can add more topics on that. But you have to stay on the platform 2 minutes and tell something what you know about this. Homeopathy pharmacy quiz, like which homeopathic stalwart had been associated with coding and machine learning? We know von Korsakov, I just mentioned little back. Then there is one more question. Which homeopathic pioneer was known to treat ailments of leprosy sufferer with homeopathy? Next question. Which is the first known incident of drug proving in British India? What will be the answer of third one? No, the first known incident of drug proving in British India. Junior faculties, first known incident of drug proving in British India. No, drug proving, I am telling drug, not application, drug proving incident. One I had mentioned of Dr. Sarath Chandra Bose when in 1899 he had proved Ficus religiosa. Which is the first event? Which one is the first one? There was a French doctor, Dr. C. Tonnery. Dr. C. Tonnery. He was assigned the job of town physician by one Zamindar of Calcutta. Dr. Tonnery in 1851 had proved Acalypha indica. That is the first known incidence. We don't find any more information, but this is in books. So this is the first instance. So let student find out. Through homeopathic quiz, we can make our subject very interesting. Where in India was the first homeopathic museum established? In this state only, in Gujarat only. So in that way we can make it interesting. So now we'll have activity time. Okay, now we'll have activity for all of you. Okay. So this is the thing, how we'll do it. We will create 6 groups and take up one topic which is in the next slide. I will show you. And these 6 groups will have teams like team 1, team 2, team 3, team 4, team 5, team 6. Questions are over there. Team 1 will get 1 question. So right now I'm not going to the next slide. So after taking up the question, whatever is the topic, we'll all discuss on, have a group discussion in 5 minutes, and then one of the representatives will come over here and present. So let's please prepare the teams. And teams should be a mini India, like participant from all states. As from Gujarat, participants are more, like most probably 15 are earlier. So every team will have at least 2 or 3 from Gujarat, and it should be a mini India. There should be one from Jharkhand, one should be from Telangana, one should be from other states.
ये 6 हो गए, ये भी 6 हो गए। मैथिली मैडम आप लोग आगे आ जाइए। आप 6 हो गए। मैथिली मैडम आप और आप मैडम यहाँ आ जाइए। ये हो गए
नहीं ना मैडम इधर आनी है हमारे पास।
तो 6 हो गए ना। सर आनंद सर आप यहाँ आ जाइए ना।
आनंद सर आप इधर
हाँ 6 हो गए। आप 6 हो गए सर। आप 3 और आप 3 हो गए। मैथिली मैम एंड शीतल
हम इधर डिमांड में हैं।
नहीं आप यहाँ आ जाओ। ये 2 सर, एक सपना मैडम एंड प्राची मैडम और आप 2 मैडम। शीतल मैडम कम दिस साइड। आप 6 हो गए।
ओके
आप 6 हो गए। ठीक
हो जाएगा हो जाएगा।
हाँ मैम
हो गया।
मैंने भी कलर वाला डिपार्टमेंट में कि क्लिनिक में कि घर में ये नहीं पता ठीक है कलर
टीम 1 यू आर टीम 1, टीम 2, टीम 3। आप लोग टीम 3, 4 and 5।
Team 6.
1 2 3 4 5
Okay, there are 5 teams.
5
5 6 30।
So these are the topics. For team 1, it is Dr. Hartman's narrative on drug proving. For team 2, it is pharmacology and Shakespeare's Play Hamlet, finding a relation. For team 3, it is medicaments of globule and medicaments a la Gutte. For team 4, LM potency, the way of dispensing. And team 5 is animal proving incidents in India.
एक ही जन को बताना है।
So there are 5 teams, 6 members. No issue. So 5 teams can take these first 5 topics as per their team number.
Presentation will be from the group, no?
Yes, from the group, anyone of the representative will come over here and discuss. You can search from everywhere. You can search from the net everywhere to make your answer.
टॉपिक 2 में थोड़ा दिक्कत है सर।
Topic 2, yes.
शेक्सपियर सबको
Okay, if you want to change, then okay. If you want to change, I will discuss that later on.
नहीं कि हमको शेक्सपियर कौन है बताइए।
Okay. Okay, sir, I am changing the topic for you. You can take this last one. You can take
Team
for team 1.
2 will take class 6-1।
Team 2 can take class 6. Okay. Team number 6. Dr. Hartman's narrative on drug. No, that is why I want to. I will discuss. I will tell the thing.
proposal of the combination
Proposers of combining homeopathy and allopathy. You will find there were people who were related to homeopathy. They had even proposed this thing.
महाराज चल रहा है।
वो देख रहे हैं और या नोइंगली देख रहे हैं इसको जो भी फील हो रही है
आप
मैम एक क्लास एक पार्ट निकाल कंटेनर
नहीं वो तो कपिंग मेथड है दैट इज कपिंग
maybe included in there. I use it also in the rural areas.
डाइल्यूटेड हमने मेरा निकाला
Learning about the homeopathic and allopathic. जहाँ एलोपैथिक नहीं पहुँचा तो आयुष पहुँच रहा है ना, that is efficient. जैसे पैंडेमिक है उस कोरोना में तो भी अच्छा तुम भी आयुर्वेदिक वाला देखा है दोनों तो दैट इज इंटरेस्टिंग सबसे पहले भी आ गई ना इंक्रीज
What happens if you combine?
गुजरात also maybe included na power
If any group is ready, they can present. नहीं वो 12 सेशन है, 12 सेशन 12 रिसोर्स पर्सन
Not speak like that. Slowly. 5
Sir, if anything, anyone can come and present whatever. I will discuss on that. This is not examination. Just we are sharing. Anyone can come from your team. Okay, if you wish, you can have. Yes, you can.
बोलने वाला मैं उससे सुन
So team 1 is ready.
So our topic is that Dr. Hartmann's narrative on the drug proving. So firstly, Dr. Hartmann, the full name is Dr. Franz Hartmann. So 1796 to 1853. He was a botanist and he used to select the plants for the proving for Dr. Hahnemann. He was treated by the Dr. Hahnemann for serious illness, and then he get fond of the homeopathy, and he then become a pupil of the Dr. Hahnemann. Then he is a eyewitness of the provings of the Dr. Hahnemann, and he has some that is narratives on the provings of the Dr. Hahnemann, that is individualizes doses. So initially days of the Dr. Hahnemann used to prepare the medicine himself, and he used to dispense the medicine to the patient prover, and the dose was that for every prover, according to the susceptibility or according to the individuality, the doses varies for the proving. It is given by narrated by the Dr. Hartmann. Then this is the methodology of the proving by the Dr. Hahnemann. The sources, the selection are the sources are from the vegetable kingdom and from other sources. But Dr. Hahnemann used to prove vegetable kingdom into the tincture form and other sources in first or second potency of centesimal scale. Then practical applications of the proving, that is the third. So it is given into the organon of medicine. And anything else, sir?
So our topic is Dr. Hartmann narrative drug. So इसमें थोड़ा सा पहले पब्लिक का माहौल बनाते हैं कि कोई भी टीचर होता है या कोई भी बड़ा प्रूवर होता है, सपोज डॉक्टर हैनीमैन, तो उन डॉक्टर हैनीमैन को सबसे पास में देखा किसने? उनके स्टूडेंट ने। डॉक्टर हैनीमैन सर ने जब ऑन प्रूविंग किया, सारी प्रूविंग को डॉक्टर हैनीमैन सर तो हिमसेल्फ पे जो ऑब्जर्व कर रहे थे, बट जब सपोज अभी सर पढ़ा रहे तो हम लोग सर को ऑब्जर्व भी कर रहे हैं, और हमें पता है कि डॉक्टर हैनीमैन सर अगर हमारे सामने प्रूविंग कर रहे तो वहाँ पे क्या एडवांटेजेस है, कहाँ पे सर का लेकुना है, कहाँ पे सर फेल हो रहे। तो ये इन्हें बिकॉज ही वॉज ए स्टूडेंट, तो इन्हें पता था कि सर कहाँ पे लग रहा है कि लेकुना हो रहा है। तो दैट्स वाई ये इन्होंने बॉटनिस्ट है, इन्हें बॉटनिस्ट बारे में बहुत सारी इंफॉर्मेशन पता थी। देन बाद में इन्होंने किया क्या, डॉक्टर हेनिमैन सर स्टार्टिंग यूज ड्रग प्रूविंग ऑन मदर टिंचर, सो इन्होंने मदर टिंचर पे थोड़ा सा क्रिटिक्स भी किया। डॉक्टर हेनिमैन सर हर एक प्रूवर को जाके मेडिसिन खुद देते थे, उस पर भी उन्होंने थोड़ा क्रिटिक्स लिखा हुआ है कि देन आफ्टर दैट सारे रिकॉर्ड्स कीपिंग, बिकॉज वी नो दैट 5th एडिशन 6th एडिशन के बीच में लेकुना जो रहा, रिकॉर्ड्स मिसिंग रहे, बाद में डॉक्टर कैंटसन ने उन्हें परचेस किया। इन्होंने कहा कि वो सारे रिकॉर्ड जैसे होते जाए, डॉक्टर हेनिमैन सर तो हिमसेल्फ ऐसे प्रूव करते थे, इन्होंने सारे रिकॉर्ड्स को पर बोलते गए कि आप प्रोको जो भी आपको ऑब्जर्व हो लिखते रहना, और आफ्टर दैट नोटिस उन्होंने उसे हेल्प करवाया। सो यहाँ पर नरेट इन्होंने एज ए स्टूडेंट इन्होंने बहुत सारे उस पे रेफरेंस भी दिए, बहुत सारे पब्लिकेशंस भी दिए। अब इस पे हम लोग जहाँ पे नरेटिव वर्ड लिखा हुआ है थोड़ा सा हम इस पे इम्प्लीमेंट करें। अभी हमने हिस्ट्री सुना, अब प्रेजेंट सिनेरियो मुझे सर ने बताया कि ड्रग प्रूविंग लेटेस्ट अभी हम बोले तो 2014 का जो प्रोटोकॉल है, ये प्रोटोकॉल पहले इससे पहले प्रूविंग हो रहा था, सब प्रूविंग दे रहे थे बट कोई से मान नहीं रहा था, राइट। सो 2014 में ड्रग प्रूविंग प्रोटोकॉल आया, देन 2017 में उसका नेम हुआ कि ह्यूमन पैथोजेनिक ट्रायल और होम्योपैथिक पैथोजेनिक ट्रायल, वो रिवाइज्ड वर्जन आया। देन वन मोर लेटेस्ट वर्जन आया कि ड्रग तो प्रूव हो गई है, ठीक है, बट जैसे बोला जाता है ना कि नए टेम्पल बनाने से अच्छा है पुराने टेम्पल, बिकॉज नए टेम्पल्स में इतना आप इंडिका दैट डॉक्टर एस.जी. घोष सर ने उसे प्रूव किया था 1960 में, तो काफी इंटरेस्टेड है। 1960 में उन्होंने प्रूव किया। आफ्टर दैट टाइम नो CCRS प्रोटोकॉल, दैट टाइम नो लिटरेचर, that only information is mentioned in drug of the Hindustan in his own book, that name is having symptom this. Then during my MD time I thought that neem early morning we are using like brushing with neem stings, then in our soap we are using neem, then in skin we are using neem. Every Ayurveda 80 to 90% cases they are treating with neem only. Now Patanjali, that 60% the income rate from neem only, neem soap, neem margo soap, then all this thing. In 1960 इंडिया इन अमेरिका में डील हुआ, इंडिया से उन्होंने एज डायरेक्टर इंडिका लिया और इंडिया को उन्होंने नीलगिरी दिया, राइट। नीलगिरी जो काफी पानी को एब्जॉर्व करता है, तो उससे इंडिया में जितना सारा पानी था वो पानी एब्जॉर्व हुआ, लाइक इन दलदल एरिया जहाँ पे बहुत ज्यादा पानी रहता है। और अमेरिका ने इंडिया से हमारा जो ट्री था, ट्री ऑफ डिवाइन नीम, उसे 1960 में लिया और उसे अमेरिका ने अपना नेशनल ट्री दे आर गोइंग टू प्लान के उसे उनका नेशनल ट्री बनाया। नीम के बहुत सारे इफेक्ट्स होते हैं। देन उस नीम को डॉक्टर एस.जी. घोष सर ने प्रूव किया, राइट, 1964 में। आफ्टर दैट नो इंफॉर्मेशन। देन ड्यूरिंग माय एमडी टाइम आई डिड अगेन ड्रग प्रूविंग. That time we got so many new symptoms, then we published it. Then after that I was not satisfied that. Then again my PhD time I did again drug proving with CCRH new protocol. Then I got so many new results. Then also that published in Scopus articles, all these things. So these all things is going on. We are not stuck on that particular limitation that Google or this thing. ड्रग प्रूविंग हर एक इंस्टीट्यूशन को करना ही चाहिए, चाहे वो नेगेटिव रिजल्ट आए, पॉजिटिव रिजल्ट आए। जैसे सर ने बताया कि आप कुछ भी करो, उसे जस्ट पब्लिश इट। 10 बंदे पढ़ेंगे, 20 बंदे पढ़ेंगे, 30 बंदे पढ़ेंगे, और जैसे ही वो सोसाइटी में जाएगा वो हेल्पफुल रहेगा।
So thank you doctors. Congratulations to the whole team. Whatever topic was given, we have covered many of the areas. Even you have given new insights. So it's a teamwork. So congratulations to all of you. So to that I would like to add a few more points regarding Dr. Hartman's narrative on drug proving. As you have said, he was a disciple of Hahnemann. He was part of Provers Union. He was already with Hahnemann. So there are some points which are not there in Organon, but Dr. Hartmann has seen. Dr. Hahnemann used to follow those things. The thing is, we have not seen about restricting ginger and pepper, but Dr. Hahnemann used to restrict ginger and pepper, but this is not in Organon. So this is we find in Dr. Hartman's writing. Next, Dr. Hartman tells that Hahnemann used to tell his provers that at the time of drug proving, don't play chess or cards because these are thought-provoking games. You have to be very much concentrated in what symptoms are coming on. So if you play chess and if you right now you don't see India-Pakistan matches. Okay, so like that, he used to restrict saying just playing chess, restrict cards, playing cards, and used to tell his volunteers, the provers, not to read novels. So right now it will be don't see the Pakistan matches and don't see mega serials. Right now you have to tell. Because mega serials are so wonderfully structured. If you see the last 5 minutes, that will make you glued. Next day in the right time, you have to sit over there. Something happens. In the last 5 minutes, there is a trick. So that will basically distract your attention. Self-observation can't be done. So these are new things. Ginger, tipper was restricted and playing games like chess and cards. Next, he also tells that you should lead a moderate life, not so heavily or not like that. In a cotton cloth, you should lie down. You should have agreeable conservations. This is written in Dr. Hahnemann's book. You should have agreeable conservations, and in the morning you should have a walk. Proof for the provers. So these are extra things I wanted to share with you. So yeah. Thank you. So now I would like to call upon a representative from team 2 who will be discussing on proposers of combining homeopathy and allopathy. Very nice topic.
So my question was proposers of combining homeopathy and allopathy. Very firstly, we'll take our master, Dr. Samuel Hahnemann. Sir was basically an allopathic doctor and seeing all the painful methods and all, of course you know all the story about that, and he converted into homeopathy, and now he's the big thing in the homeopathy. So second, it's Herring, Dr. Herring. So we have a story here. He was asked to, sir was explaining that. So let me not repeat that. So one more name is Dr. Herring. And again, he's a well-known doctor, Dr. Adil Chintanwala, sir. He's a cardiologist. Then whole family is allopaths, but basically they they are the allopathic doctors, and they will practice homeopathy. And his son Kasim Chintanwala and his wife, gynecologist, all they are practicing, and they are the proposers of homeopathy. Father, sir, yes, sir. Adil Chintanwala is son. So again, sir has explained that. So based on Mahendra Lal Sarkar, then PC Mujamdar. Yes. No, sir. Okay. Maybe based on this, increased. Why? According to the MES also, they mentioned that every even in the homeopathic hospitals, there should be a gynecologist, surgeons, and the general medicine doctors. Fine. So increased accessibility with the shortage of the specialists, doctors in rural areas, especially in India. So enabling trained Ayush doctors proclaimed to prescribe some allopathic medicines could help bridge the health gaps. Okay. As I discussed the same thing, the Ministry of Ayush itself is proposing the integrated clinics in the community health centers. That's it. So in all homeopathic hospitals, of course, I have discussed that. To come upon the MES itself, it has been mentioned there should be a allopathic doctor. See, when the patient is suffering, it doesn't mean only homeopathy, allopathy. Whatever the patient is required, that has to be given. Only our aim is to the patient has to get recovered and he should be better. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Very nice. So thank you, team 2, for your nice presentation. Together you had done this teamwork. So the topic was about combining homeopathy and allopathy. So you have given some inputs on the area, and in addition to that, you have given the names of some people who were converts. They were converts. Earlier they were allopathic doctors, but when they converted, they never used allopathy anymore. They were homeopathic doctors. But here I am mentioning The thing is, those who thought of combining homeopathy and allopathy, that way together they will use to. I'm giving examples. First, it was Dr. Carl W. Kaspari. If you go through his life, you will find Dr. Kaspari, even Dr. Hahnemann was very much angry on him with Dr. Kaspari. He was a young chap, and Dr. Hahnemann was very much irritated with whatever Kaspari used to think. Kaspari wanted to mix up homeopathy and allopathy, which can never be possible. This is one thing. And Don Martin Honigberger, who is known to have introduced homeopathy in India by giving Dalkamara 3x to Ranjit Singh, he also wanted to mix homeopathy and allopathy. To him, he was an allopathy doctor. So he wanted, so based on disease, in some cases we will give homeopathy, in some cases he wanted to give allopathy. So these are also two interesting names. And this one, as you have skipped, let me tell you, pharmaconomians expert is I found in one area. When I was a student, one of my English teachers, while discussing on these plays of Shakespeare, he said that in Australia, a group of scientists of Sydney University, they have brought out a result of a publication. They have brought out a publication after research findings. They say that poison, if inserted through the ear, it can work. So that is also one route, pharmaconomy. That is also one route. So any poison, if it is inserted into human body by ear, it works. This was the finding of the scientists. And there they said that how could Shakespeare know the thing? The same thing happened in the play of Hamlet. Hamlet's father died. Hamlet didn't know how it happened. Hamlet was out of his kingdom. When he came, he knew that his father is died. Then came the news that suddenly people said for those guards of the fort, they said the ghost of Hamlet's father has been seen in the fort. So hearing this, Hamlet along with his friend, one night they go up to see whether his father's ghost is appearing. And there his father's ghost comes and tells them, you have to take revenge of my death because I have been murdered by placing this poison in my ear and your uncle has done the thing. So the point is, pharmaconomy in homeopathy, apart from this oral administration, we are using so many routes. So this is the way, what I think, by correlating in that way I teach. So to make it, to say this all things, sports, history, geography, play, everything will come together.
But sir,
in that way.
But sir, in history we have seen many incidences where that lead is filled in ear to punish prisoners.
Yes, right. Very good information, right. So this is also one route of applying, because poison is medicine and medicine is poison. It just depends on the quantity. So if poison can act through that channel, that medicine can also be, and that can also act through that channel. Thank you, sir. Okay, now it's time for PM 3 to discuss on medicaments of globule and medicaments a la Gutte.
Sir, both terms are French terms.
Very good.
Medicaments of globule means medicines in form of globules.
Yes.
And a la Gauté means in form of drops.
Very good.
The centesimal scale used for a la Gauté and globule for LM.
Yes.
50 millisimal scale.
Very good.
Basically these are the French words, and here globule is mentioned, so you can understand the medicine which are prepared in globule, that is medicamentus of globule, and which are not prepared in globule, that is in liquid, that is the second one. Simple thing to understand. This is the first thing. Then
Yes, very good. Very nice expansion. Very good.
Both of the previous centesimal scale is popular because centesimal and 50 millisimal scale when arrived in 6th edition, अप्रोक्स 100 ईयर का गैप आ गया दोनों के बीच में, और पब्लिशर और हैनीमैन सर की वाइफ के बीच में कुछ आर्ग्यूमेंट थे पब्लिश करने के रिगार्डिंग, तो उसके चक्कर में पब्लिश नहीं हो पाया और वो फेमस नहीं हो पाई, तो इसी के चक्कर में 50 मिलीसिमल स्केल थी वो फेमस रही। और अगर इनको इक्वलिटी देखें तो एलएम पोटेंसी जो 0/1 है सेंटीसिमल में अप्रोक्स 6C पोटेंसी के इक्वल है। ठीक है सर। एंड अगर यूज देखें 50 मिलीसिमल स्केल इन क्रॉनिक केसेस में और रिपीटेशन कंटिन्यू अपन रिपीटेड 50 मिलीसिमल क्रॉनिक केसेस के अंदर अपन कंटिन्यू दे सकते हैं, रिपीटेड डोज दे सकते हैं। और सेंटीसिमल स्केल जिसकी एक्शन स्ट्रॉन्गर एक्शन है, जो अपन रिपीटेड डोज में नहीं दे सकते हैं, अपन उसको सिंगल डोज में मोस्टली अपन यूज कर सकते हैं। देने में रिपीटेशन में दे सकते हैं, लेकिन एक्शन स्ट्रॉन्गर एक्शन रहता है, उसकी वजह से एग्रेवेशन ज्यादा रहता है। अपन 50 मिलीसिमल स्केल इसी वजह से यूज करते हैं ताकि उसका एग्रेवेशन उसमें कम रहे।
More the medicine goes inside, more the chances of getting the aggravation. And 50 millisecond potency, Hahnemann, what he observed that the cases which are getting aggravations, what to do for that cases. So he tried to reduce the potency, and then he finally came to the conclusion on 50 millisecond potency. And there in 50 millisecond potency, he has seen that repetition is easier and without aggravations, and if aggravation happens also, it is in very low intensity. So this is the reason why 50 millisecond potencies were used. But why 50 millisecond potency was not popular, or till now not so popular, because still some physicians, they think that we should use centesimal potency. The reason behind it, first thing is the 5th edition of Organon of Medicine and 6th edition of Organon of Medicine. 6th edition was published after the death of Hahnemann, so there are controversies. Some says that many things are added afterwards in that edition, and some says that no, 50 millisecond potency was not the original idea of Hahnemann. It is what we can say, it is imported from somewhere else. So this was the reason why 50 millisecond potency was not so popular, and the main reason which you know already is the time of publication. As per history, we know that 50 millisecond potency means 6th edition. It was already completed in 1842 and published in 1921. It's a very long time. Even in research also, if we lack in publication for 3 or 4 years, that research is almost outdated. It happens. You people should also know this thing. If you have done any research, let it publish as soon as possible. Otherwise, it will be outdated. Thank you. It will become history.
LM potency in India firstly used in 1957 around. Thank you, sir.
So thank you, doctors, for your inputs. Very nicely you have identified that this is from the French language. Now I would like to add one thing over here which is very interesting. So this is medicine with the globule, and this is medicine with the drops. Rightly you have said that this is about centesimal potency and this is about 50 millisimal potency. But why it is ala over here and why it is au? Why it is that? Because in French, even in Hindi it is there, in English it is not there. In English we say the boy, the girl. So the will have no difference. Da is the for masculine or feminine. In Spanish it is el chico and la chica. That means la for feminine and el for masculine. Similar in French, it is lo and la. So it was globule is a masculine word.
Okay.
And goutte, drop, is a feminine word.
Okay.
Like in French, the countries are also masculine and feminine. La Ruche, that means the Russia. Okay, lo Japon, means Japan is a masculine word. Lo Japon and la Ruche in that way. So basically it was a and lo, and a lo will be yuktakkar and it will become au. So in that way it is au and that is ala goutte. Thank you so much. Okay. Now team 4, you are requested, team 4 members, please come over here and represent you the topic that has been given to you.
Start
Topic is LM potency and the way of dispensing. थोड़ा सा बैकग्राउंड में जाएंगे क्योंकि आज ही सीखा है कि थोड़ा सा एक वो बनाना पड़ेगा, है ना? तो डॉक्टर हेनीमैन was not satisfied with the centesimal mode of potentization because of few drawbacks, like there were many relapses और repetition बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं कर पाया, aggravation हो रहा था, और तो gradually he experimented and he devised this. According to him, this was the most the 50 millisimal scale of potentization.
Okay, so I want to start with a little history. We all know it is 6th edition, posthumous edition. The manuscript of Hahnemann was destroyed. First of all, Madam Milani was not convinced to hand over that for publication. A dozen was going, means the people were going to them again and again. It was, we call it in different name. And one more thing, I'm not convinced that it is not giving poppy size globule, and that is very easily available in our pharmacy department in GEMS also. When we were procuring poppy size globule, it was not there. So first of all, the student are like, how we will say it is very small? How small? If we are not having it, how can we show it? So I said, if I am going to Kolkata, I will get it from there. Poppy size globule, only this much is enough to show them. You do the procedure with 10 number size. I can't bring, I go by flight, so I can't bring that much for the full batch to prepare the LM potency. So we will bring it, and so that the student will know what is poppy size globule. Poppy, in Telugu, what we call as a poppy? Khaskhas is Hindi, no? So I can't tell them in the local language also. So that was one problem. I will say rye is still rye, mustard. वो भी बड़ा है. So rye also they will not understand. So these things, if they see, they learn. What sir said, no? If we speak, they take it, but they don't retain it. If they see, they hold, they speak, and they do that visualization and practical kinesthetic involvement, they understand. So the dispensing part is there, it is lacking. But once we get it, dispensing is for how we are dispensing. Ma'am, you want to add the preparations first? Okay. Ma'am will say a little.
सेंटिसिमल और 50 मिलीसिमल में बेसिक डिफरेंस डिस्पेंसिंग में ये है कि हम सेंटिसिमल में इन द फॉर्म ऑफ ग्लोब्यूल्स या शुगर ऑफ मिल्क डिस्पेंस करते हैं. मतलब देयर इज सॉलिड मोड ऑफ सॉलिड फॉर्म में डिस्पेंसिंग होती है, whereas in 50 millisimal scale the dispensing is done in liquid form. This is the biggest difference between the centesimal and 50 millisimal scale. बहुत शॉर्ट में प्रिपरेशन बोल के मैं टॉपिक पे ही आ रही हूँ. 3C तक ट्राइचुरेशन किया, उसके बाद 500 drops of a mixture of distilled water and alcohol is added. This gives 1/5 into 1/10 to the power 8, which is equivalent to the mother tincture. Now that 1 drop of mother tincture and 100 drops of alcohol plus 100 strokes will give 0/1 potency in liquid form. But in this we have to convert into solid form. So if we have the poppy size globules, then 500 poppy size globules can be medicated by 1 drop of 0/1, which you have prepared in liquid form. After the globules they have been medicated, then 1 globule of 0/1 solid form is sufficient to make 0/2 liquid potency. You take 1 globule of 0/1, you add 100 drops of alcohol, 100 strokes, and you get 0/2 in liquid form. Then we can again convert it into solid potency. लेकिन जब पेशेंट को हमको देना है तो वो एक सिंगल ग्लोब्यूल से, जैसे सर ने आज अपने लेक्चर में बताया कि होम्योपैथिक मेडिसिन का एक बहुत बड़ा बेनिफिट है कि हम थोड़ी सी मेडिसिन से बहुत सारा बना सकते हैं, है ना? तो वो 1 poppy size globule is sufficient to make medicine for 800 to 1000 people. तो हम पेशेंट को जो देते हैं वो हम लिक्विड फॉर्म में देते हैं. हम एक poppy size globule in 3/4 30 ml का बॉटल लिया या 200 ml का बॉटल लिया, सब में थोड़ी सी कंफ्यूज हुई यहाँ पे, और उसको 3/4 डिस्टिल वाटर से फिल किया और वी मार्क द डोजेस कि हम 7 में दे रहे हैं, 15 डोजेस दे रहे हैं, 16 डोजेस दे रहे हैं, और उसके बाद पेशेंट को जब हमको डिस्पेंसिंग करनी है तो हमको पेशेंट को ये समझाना है कि उसको हर बार स्ट्रोक्स लगाने हैं. द स्ट्रोक्स कितने उसको बताने हैं वो डिपेंड करता है ऑन द ससेप्टिबिलिटी ऑफ द पेशेंट, 8, 10 और 12. और पेशेंट को जब हम देंगे और हम डोजेस बताएंगे तो फर्स्ट डोज लिया. अब डिपेंड यहाँ पर मेरे को लगता है कि ये भी रीजन है 50 मिलीसिमल स्केल के बहुत पॉपुलर नहीं होने का कि इसमें पेशेंट को भी बहुत समझना है. एजुकेटेड पेशेंट चाहिए. तो कपिंग मेथड होता है कि अगर फर्स्ट डोज से एग्रेवेशन है तो फर्स्ट ग्लास ऑफ वाटर जिसमें हमने 1 टेबलस्पून ऑफ ड्रग डाला है, 1 डोज डाला है, वो हम सिर्फ उससे 1 टेबलस्पून लेके सेकंड ग्लास में ट्रांसफर करेंगे एंड रेस्ट ऑफ द ग्लास डिस्कार्ड कर देंगे. तो वो डिपेंड करता है कि हमको पेशेंट को कौन से ग्लास से ये भी हमको एजुकेट करना पड़ेगा पेशेंट को. तो आई होप द डिस्पेंसिंग इज क्लियर. बाकी एक बहुत बड़ा एडवांटेज ये है कि सेंटिसिमल स्केल में प्रॉब्लम ही ये आ रहा था कि बहुत रिपीटेशन नहीं कर पा रहे थे बिकॉज ऑफ द होम्योपैथिक एग्रेवेशन, है ना. मिनिमम होम्योपैथिक एग्रेवेशन होना चाहिए, वहां पे प्रोलॉन्ग्ड होम्योपैथिक एग्रेवेशन हो रहा था. इफ द मेडिसिन इज सिमिलिमम देन ऑल्सो. तो इन 50 मिलीसिमल स्केल एक्यूट डिजीजेस में तो हम रिपीटेशन कर ही सकते हैं फ्रीक्वेंटली, पर हम क्रोनिक में भी वी कैन फ्रीक्वेंटली रिपीट द मेडिसिन. ऑफ कोर्स इट डिपेंड्स ऑन द स्टेज ऑफ द डिजीज एंड द सिवियरिटी ऑफ द डिजीज. मतलब हम उसको एकदम ऐसा स्पेसिफिक नहीं बोल सकते, बट स्टिल वी कैन डू द रिपीटेशन. 0/1 से, ये हमको पहले बोलना चाहिए था कि 0/1 से डिनोट होता है और हेनीमैन ऑल्सो डिनोटेड इट बाय 0/1. तो इंडिया में वी डिनोट इट बाय 0/1. और जब डिस्पेंस करते हैं तो डिपेंड करता है स्टेज ऑफ द डिजीज पर एक्यूट डिजीज में वी कैन स्टार्ट द केस बाय 0/1 और 0/3. In chronic disease we can start the case between 0/3 to 0/6. और आगे जब हम पोटेंसी बढ़ाएंगे वो हम सीरियल में बढ़ाएंगे, मतलब जंपिंग में. जैसे 0/3 दिया तो नेक्स्ट पोटेंसी विल बी 0/5. और क्योंकि ये मानते हैं 0/3 एंड 0/4 इज मोर और लेस सिमिलर, तो तो इट रिड्यूसेस द टाइम कि आप एक एक पोटेंसी से वो कर रहे हैं. बाकी सेंटिसिमल में जैसे हम ध्यान रखते हैं कि हमको मोडालिटीज पे कि एग्रेवेशन टाइम पे वो दवाई नहीं देनी चाहिए. मिड डे, जैसे आर्सेनिक इज मिड डे मिडनाइट एग्रेवेशन, तो वी शुड अवॉइड गिविंग द मेडिसिन इन मिड डे एंड मिडनाइट. सिमिलरली वी हैव टू डू इन 50 मिलीसिमल स्केल आल्सो. अगर मैंने कोई पॉइंट छोड़ा तो
you can hand over this mic to team 5. So thank you team 5, team 4 for giving wonderful inputs regarding LM potency. Here I will add 2-3 points. First is in many books it is written that to prepare LM potency we have to reach up to 3C and then we have to go. But this is something which is I think not correct. I am telling you, there was one very important good doctor in Orissa, Dr. Akshay Kumar Mishra. So he said that the ratio in 50 millisimal scale in the first 3 stages of trituration is not 1:99. It is 1:100.
1:100.
Understand? So that is why he says that it is not. It should not be denoted as 1C, 2C, 3C, but it is something different from 1C, 2C, 3C. So his point was it is first degree trituration, second degree trituration, and third degree trituration. In book of Dr. Goyal, you will find there is one thing that it mentioned there should not be any kind of comparison between the scales because these are at the level of dynamism. Okay, so it is written it is completely absurd to compare one scale with other scales, but some doctors have done this. They have mathematically tried to find out that the first 0/1 potency is similar to this 3 and it comes between 5 and 6 like that. So what is the utility of 5C and if the potency is similar to 5C or 6 in that? So this is one thing. Next point is, I'm just giving my view. Okay, but in book it is there. In book it is written like up to 3C you have to proceed and then you have to move on to this. I will share a very important information. It is a practice in 50 millisimal scale to prepare 14 doses, 16 doses like that, but that should not be done because the water is not stable. Water is not stable. As per findings, it is said that if whatever you place in water, whatever globule or drops, after 7 days, it is almost completely it is useless. So the recent Dr. Bharsar in Calcutta, after their Dr. Durga Sangha Bhar, in many conferences they are advising homeopathic doctors to prepare not more than 8 doses at a time in LM potency. Or when you dispense in water, it should be used within a week. After 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, it will not work. This is one thing. And regarding this dispensing way, there are some, one more thing. There is no jumping as per Hahnemann's instruction in 50 millismol scale, but Indian doctors have done this. In Luke the Skipper's book, it is written. Dr. Hahnemann said you should go step by step, from 0/1 to 0/2, from 0/2 to 0/3, as it is required. Even Dr. Hahnemann said you can return back from 0/29, you can come back to 0/28, depending upon the susceptibility of the patient. But Indian doctors, they start with 0/1 and next they give 0/3, next they give 0/5, or some doctors practice like 0/2, 0/4, 0/6, and even there are doctors who start by 0/6, then they give 0/12 and 0/18. Some start with 0/10. So Dr. Luke the Skipper says most probably Indian doctors, they have this experience. Actually, this potency depends upon the susceptibility. If he finds that the susceptible patient demands for 0/10, so he's giving 0/10. But Dr. Hahnemann said not to jump, start from 0/1 and step by step you can proceed. So thank you so much. Now, last but not the least, please ma'am, please have your discussion on animal proving incidents in India.
Animal proving incidents in India. Firstly, there are very less proving done on animals in India. But one of the famous accidental proving which I think most of you might know is Blatta orientalis. That was proved in India, and that is the very common story जो हम भी class में बताते हैं during accidental proving story. So ये proving हुई थी in Calcutta by Dr. D.N. Ray. He was a patient of asthma, and he took lot of medicine, allopathic medicine, and he was not getting any relief. And one evening, his cook was making, I think, tea or soup for him, I don't know, and उसमें एक cockroach गिर गया था. And like Indian tendency, वो उन्होंने फेंका नहीं, and he gave that to his master. And he was miraculously, उनको वो दिन अटैक नहीं आया अस्थमा का, and he knew कि something was there in my food only, and उन्होंने अपने कुक को पहले पूछा तो he denied, and ultimately he confessed कि yes, हम गलती मुझसे हुई थी. And at that time he came to know about cockroach. That cockroach was there in the soup or tea. That kind of relieved him from that asthma, and then the proving of again did. And another proving in India was done of muscus, musk deer. It was genetically seen in the possibly of the, I don't know the real story, but few books says that it was genetically seen in the people near that region, Himalayan region. But I am not sure about the full story. Another is of Apis mellifica. Sir, उसकी भी story नहीं पता. One popular story of cockroach I know.
Yes, right. Thanks for.
A teacher learning from students. यही टॉपिक पढ़ा रहे थे क्लास में, and student raise the hand and ask the question. मैम, हम ह्यूमंस हैं, एनिमल्स के ऊपर प्रूव करके फायदा क्या होगा? So I have to go back. थोड़ा देखना पड़ा, ये बच्चों को उनके लैंग्वेज में बताना पड़ता है of the statistics. So I came to know that बुक में लिखा है अपने मंडल एंड मंडल डी बैनर्जी में that we are having the same systems. बच्चों को ये बता के नहीं समझता है. I have shown them that 97% of DNA of the rat is matching with the human beings, and 98% of the chimpanzees. ये जब हम बोलते तब बच्चों को एक्सेप्ट होता है, yes we can prove the on animals. So उसी में देखते हुए पता चला that why animal proving is helpful. हम रट्टा मारवाते हैं ना बच्चों से, we can go up to the maximum infinity to use the dose. तो why not on adults? कर लेते हैं ना. कोई जैसे सर ने बोला prisoners के ऊपर जब चलता था proving, दे दो ना, prisoner को वैसे भी मारना ही है. Why not you have gone up to that end? एक prisoner की maximum life 60 to 80, एक mice की 6 to 8 months. So what we are getting when we are proving on the animals, there is a more less lifespan, ज़्यादा फटाफट result मिलते हैं. If I am studying I want to study some drug on PCOD. ओके, तो मैं सेम साइकिल देख रही हूँ फीमेल रैट में। तो ये चेंजेस मुझे 7 महीने में कुछ तो एविडेंस मिलेगा। एक ह्यूमन लाइफ में सिर्फ एक साल में मुझे 12 ही चांसेस मिल रहे हैं, राइट? So this is the benefit of animal proving. What we are doing now, talking about the Indian provings. What I have came to know, अभी देखा है उसके हिसाब से, right now we are studying on mice about the Alzheimer diseases, then tuberculosis for mice, and guinea pigs. Addiction, which is the most common problem in India, we are studying on the monkeys. Then blood thinners on rats. स्वाइन फ्लू का टेस्टिंग हुआ था माइस के ऊपर, विच आई हैव केम टू नो, एंड करंटली वी आर यूजिंग, अगेन ये पता चला है रस्टॉक्स एज अ एंटी इंफ्लेमेटरी इफेक्ट्स के लिए 6, 12 एंड 30-200 पोटेंसी पे यूज किया गया था, स्पेशली स्टडिंग द स्वेलिंग विच कम्स आफ्टर द लॉन्ग स्टैंडिंग, जिनको उन्होंने कैरेज पो बोला है, कि बहुत देर तक एक ही जगह पे बैठने के बाद पैर के ऊपर जब स्वेलिंग आता है, उसका रिजल्ट रस्टॉक्स में कैसे हेल्पफुल हो रहा है, उसके लिए उन्होंने ये पोटेंशियस के ऊपर ट्राई किया था। दैट मच व्हाट आई हैव केम टू नो फ्रॉम दिस।
वेरी थैंक यू। I'd like to add one thing over here, that animal probing on cockroach, basically it was first done by Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. So Vidyasagar is a very common name, very known person. He was a social reformer in West Bengal. So he had this habit of taking tea, and he was a asthmatic patient. I think after that what happened? Now he came to know that by accidental probing about that, this fluid what has discharged from cockroach, it has cured my asthma. So he now had done clinical observation. Now he prepared systematically Blatta orientalis mother, and he applied those drugs on people, on Santhals, that means tribal people, those who stay in the border of West Bengal and Jharkhand. Okay, that place is on Santhal Bibi like that. So over there he basically applied this Blatta orientalis mother, and he found those asthmatic patients were getting well. So it was a kind of clinical observation. So in Borix Mathematica, in the later part you will find the name Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar is written. And D.N. Roy is also correct in its way, because this same drug is not that only one person will prove. Later on, Dr. D had conducted this one. It should be proportionate to body weight. Now, for horses it is 10-15 drops. But what about mice? Fraction of a drop is required. So by micropipette, fraction of a drop of Belladonna 30 was administered to those Winster rats in Calcutta. What was done? So in that way they had conducted this experiment. So we have covered all those points. Yes, any question?
Okay, again in this, being a pet lover, I keep on giving homeopathic drugs to pets. So I'm not aware that we should correct this dose as per the animal. So मैं हमारा 30-200 में ही देती थी. But what you would suggest for rats,
yes, I'm suggesting,
dogs
yes,
or cats?
Exactly. I have also tried to learn the thing.
And even for plants.
Yes, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. For animals, basically right now it is under experimental stage. There is no final data on that. So in South India, what they are doing, I came to know, there is in Kerala, there is one institute where veterinary homeopathy is taught, but it is not for homeopaths. The veterinary doctors, they learn about homeopathy to apply homeopathy medicines on animals. The veterinary doctor, they learn on homeopathy to apply homeopathy medicine on the animals. And there are faculty members who are homeopaths, but homeopath doctors don't have the right. Okay, so what they are doing for birds, for chicks like that, in a small container, they place water and they put 5-6 drops. And as per thirst of the bird, they take a little amount of water as per their own rule. That means it's not that we are going to them after every 15 minutes or after 1 hour we're giving. As per their thirst, the birds, the small creatures, whatever they drink, in that way that medicine is working in them. But there should be some dose. In Herring's book it is there, that in proportionate to human body, if human body average 60-70 kg means one dose is 1 drop as per conventional posology, then a mice which is weighing some grams, it will be given a fraction of a drop. And for a huge creature like elephant, it might be 20-25 drops in that way. But it is not final. We have to study, and maybe some postology will be coming out. Now, I have one more interesting slide regarding animal programming. I will show you. So I will take most probably 15-20 slides are left, and in like a 20-20 match, I will finish it off in 10 minutes because I have taken lots of time. Now, this is on teaching on time management. Very interesting slide. We should tell our students. Students know a lot, but in exams they can't answer. They come and tell, sir, I answered only 80. I couldn't answer. Now we have MCQ, LAQ, and SAQ. So this is what I have found that we can do like this. We have to advise our students how the time in exams has to be managed. Provided that the student knows all the answers, he is not going for hall collection, then he can do. But if he has to go to washroom, if he has to discuss, then the time will be much shorter. So this is the breakup. For MCQ, what I suggest that in 10 minutes you write the answer and exact alternatives should be given. For SAQs, 7 to 8 minutes. We have 8 SAQs. So 7 minutes, that means 56 minutes. Okay, 55 minutes. And for LAQs, at least 20 minutes is required for each broad question. A, B, C, D, F. So total, at the end, we should also have revisions. Always I tell my son that please revise. If you revise, you will find there are some mistakes. But my son never revises. And he makes silly mistakes. So my students are also my son. I tell them that, look, my son doesn't listen. At least you listen. You should have some time for revision, because in 10 minutes, if you revise, you will get some points which are error. You will find out, and that will have to increase your scores. You will get 2-3 marks extra for that. Will be dedicated for LAQs. Yeah. Basically, if they are involved in collecting from the hall, it may take more time. If they go to washroom, that time has not been there. The pie chart is not there.
Sir, I am looking after the examination also in my college.
Section 1, Section 2.
Right. हाँ, बिल्कुल. दो सेक्शन ए सेक्शन बी 2 हुआ करता था. बिल्कुल. सर बोलिए.
सर एक्चुअली मैं हमारे कॉलेज में एग्जाम भी देखता हूँ, और हमारे यहाँ पे आयुर्वेद, यूनानी, उनके भी एग्जाम होते हैं. तो मैं सभी स्टूडेंट्स लगभग सेम जैसा ही बिहेवियर करते हैं एग्जाम में. फर्स्ट हाफ एन आवर तो उनका एमसीक्यूज में ही चला जाता है. फिर उसके अगले 1.5 घंटे वो शॉर्ट आंसर से फाइट करते हैं लगातार. उस दौरान वॉशरूम एंड ऑल अदर एक्टिविटीज गोज ऑन अल्टरनेटिवली. एंड लास्ट में जो 1 घंटा बचता है उसमें वो कोशिश करते हैं कि लॉन्ग आंसर को कंप्लीट करते हैं, लेकिन हो नहीं पाता.
Yes, they are unable to complete. In my state, what is happening? They are answering right now as after the introduction of this new kind of blueprint question. They are leaving out 1 short SAQ and 1 LAQs. So they are leaving 15 marks. So that makes 75, 80 like that they are answering. And they tell, sir, thoda dekhna hai sir. I answered only 80, sir. But it's not mathematics, no? It's not mathematics that if you answer 80, you will get 80. Okay, next slide. This is one more thing that I have thought of. Student might know a lot, but in your answer script in 3 hours, you have to divide your time in that way for answering, and you have to select upon the number of words in your answers. You can't write lot. Earlier there were 20 marks questions. Write a discussion of this 50 millisimal scale. Write about percolation, 20 marks. But right now the question will come of 10 marks. LAQs are of 10 marks. So in that way they have to shorten their answer. So this is my advice. For MCQ, better you write the whole question along with the option and numbers. For SAQ, students should write their answer in 120 to 150 words, not more than that. That will take more time, because 150 words, that means in 7 minutes you can do. And for LAQs, I think it should be 150 to 200 words. That's what I have thought of. And I'm open to your advices also, open to your views also. This is what I have thought. In that way, we can calculate. Coming on to the next slide, the information on future scopes we need to give our students. That is one, medical tourism through homeopathy. This is one scope. There is one area, scope of homeopathy. For UG, over there we need to cover this area. For PG students, there is one chapter on finance, marketing, all that. Over there we have to discuss for PG students. Like medical tourism, how we can earn money, how we can gain foreign money from there. It is a huge scope. We can have this kind of circuits in different areas where people will come, they will treat with homeopathy and see the temples and the religious places or mountains or hills. In that way, we can have circuits in Gujarat, like enjoy the Lions with Company of Homeopathy. or in Odisha we can have like enjoy the temples with homeopathic aid, or enjoy the tea gardens of Assam with homeopathy, like that we can. So marketing is required, advertising is required. So in that way, same things are done. Okay, just a minute. Next is sports medicine through homeopathy. One more area is there, foreign enrollment. Every year we get mail, every 2-3 months in an interval we get mail from foreign countries, from Spain, Portugal, who are interested to have short courses. So we should introduce this kind of courses. There is demand in foreign countries. In foreign countries, what is happening? What they have said is, it is not banned. They have said that you won't get medical insurance benefit if you treat with homeopathy. But it is up to your choice. You will not get medical benefits. And it is very expensive in foreign countries. They prefer to come to India. They prefer to come to India for treatment. They want to come to India because there is no course over there. They want to learn what is real homeopathy.
Even books are very costly, sir.
Yes, very true. Very true. So medical tourism and short-term courses, these have a wonderful future. We can earn, our country can earn foreign money from these areas. Veterinary homeopathy, agro-homeopathy, we have already discussed these areas. These are future scopes that we need to highlight to our students. Okay, these we have already mentioned, I have already discussed the things. Dr. Hanneman had treated his own horse. Dr. Hanneman's statements on animal proving. Moving on to next slide. These I have already mentioned these things. Dr. Farooq J. Master's cases on individualistic approach. Dr. Rajiv Perez is over here, a faculty member. He also shared some information where through individualized homeopathy, he has seen wonderful results. Okay. So this is the thing, what I wanted to mention. Very nice information. In BBC I found, why we are not proving on drugs on animals? Just because they can't communicate in our language. Now it is the era of artificial intelligence. So repeatedly by observing, by machine learning, coding and artificial intelligence, it is possible to decode the language of animals. And in that way work is going on. Recent research on decoding animal language can open up new avenue for animal drug proving and its application of homeopathy. Till now we didn't conduct homeopathic proving on animals. Everything was based on observation, on clinical observation, the behavior of the animal, based on that. Now after applying a drug, checking the behavior of the animal, we can decode what the animal is feeling. The subjective symptoms can be decoded. So it is opening up a new area of research. And then apply what Dr. Hanneman had said in the conference. To treat cows, do it on cow. To treat a horse, do it on horse. Applied importance, we need to know, we need to table vehicles. In book there are so many vehicles, there are so many medicines, so many potencies. Some medicines and some vehicles are not. There are many companies who sell cantheris, but that is not cantheris. It is prepared from Mylabris species. It's a kind of fly which is found at the border of Midnapur and Odisha. Mylabris species. But it has an ingredient, a chemical constituent, which is very similar to cantharidin, which was present in cantheris. So that is why it also creates a burning like symptom before, during and after urination. So instead of cantheris, they are using Mylabris, but selling that in the name of cantheris. So this is a kind of spurious drug. So we have to correlate the thing. Next is imponderabilia can no more be produced, because I had a talk with Dr. Bhaur before one article I had published in Heritage. So before that I had a talk with him. So sir said one interesting thing. Sufficient data is not there. All what is there in the book are vague data. The first thing is, we need to know at what time the exposure was taken. Next we need to know the wavelength. Next we need to know how long that exposure was given. Nowhere it is written regarding X-ray or sol or luna or magnetism. So somebody has prepared, till that medicine get exhausted, we can use it because based on the proving it is written in Materia Medica. But now we can't produce the exact luna. We have to make a new luna. We have to make a new sol. We have to make a new magnetism polyamorph. So these are potencies which are not available, like Dr. Hanneman used to prescribe these medicines earlier. The multiple of 3. And Dr. Hanneman prescribed medicines in 9 potency, 12 potency, 15 potency, 18, 21, 24, 27. But these are not available right now. Dr. Hanneman used to use those potencies. 300, 400, 1500, 2500, you will get names like Dr. Jenny Chen, they used to Dr. Korsakov, they used to prepare in that way. But right now, all these potencies are not available in the meditation shop. Some chapters are there that need to be taught together, like prescription and pharmacovigilance. Because misreading of prescription and miswriting of a prescription can lead to ADR. If the doctor miswrites or if the pharmacist misreads, then that will result in ADR. Next, scales and potentization, very much interrelated. Very much interrelated. That should be taught together. Scope of pharmacy with research scopes. Drug proving with its relation to Matra Medica. Prescription and posology. These are some chapters. They need correlation. The order to teach, this is one thing I need to tell. What I have seen in book, in old method, mother tinctures are given. Right after preparation of mother tincture starts the potentization. So if we don't teach scale and potentization, students will not understand. So after 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5, 6, I stop. Or I tell the other teacher, please now you start about scale. Then you tell them about potentization. Then he will once again come back from here and tell the application of centesimal and decimal scale for potentization. You all agree with me? Thank you. So this is the thing. This is one sequence for better understanding we should follow. Okay. There are many strategies to remember the things, mnemonics, tricks, images, formulas. In that way, whatever as a student we had followed, in that we can share our experiences. Like there is one example, to prepare dispensing alcohol from strong alcohol, there is a formula in HPI. To prepare dilute alcohol from strong alcohol, there is a formula in HPI. Those figures, those numbers, students have difficulty remembering. Like 947 milliliters of strong alcohol when diluted with alcohol and prepared 1000 milliliters, it will make dispensing alcohol. And they forget 947. So I tell you, bring a 1 before 947. So 1947 is the year of our independence, and then you delete it, telling when you answer. So this is how, as a student, I remember those things. Or there are like examples: 632 milliliters of strong alcohol when diluted to water and made 1000 milliliters of this preparation, it becomes a dispensing, it becomes a dilute alcohol. So 2 3s are 6, 2 into 3 is equal to 6. So in that way, oppositely, you can remember those points. So there are many tricks to remember. So you can use those things, you can share with your students as you had remembered as a student. In that way you can do. So to be a successful teacher, what I believe, that apart from homeopathy knowledge or homeopathy pharmacy knowledge, we should have knowledge of science, physics, chemistry, botany, history, geography, current affairs, sports, and coding and artificial intelligence, so that we can correlate properly to propagate the real knowledge of homeopathy. So these are the take-home messages. The art of teaching is, there's a typing error over there. Yesterday night I saw, but I didn't bring a laptop, so I couldn't correct it. The art of teaching is a must, which should be there, irrespective of the curriculum and syllabus. It's not, we should not forget the art. Art will be there, art must be there. Because of the presence of art, student will find interest. Whatever be the syllabus, whatever be the curriculum, art should prevail, art should remain. Student learning is enhanced by adopting diverse teaching strategies. All formulas will not work for all. The formula by which we beat Oman, it will not be the same when we play against Australia. It will be different. The strategies should change. Effective teaching allows educators to assess the progress. Creation of student-centered learning environment is essential. Teaching strategies must be customized as per need. As per need, you can change it. All-round knowledge, what I think is required to get proper information on homeopathy, homeopathy pharmacy, and propagating this thing. So this is one wonderful quotation. A mediocre teacher tells, and by experience he becomes a good teacher. We all start from mediocre teaching. A good teacher explains. Then by experience he becomes a superior teacher, and he demonstrates, and finally a great teacher is there who inspires. The inspiration is very much required for the student. These are the references from where I have taken the data for all informations. Thank you so much. Thank you all faculty members for wonderful patient hearing. Nice interaction. This session also gave me some inputs.